Welcome to Money in the Air, the music podcast about neighboring rights, the royalties you earn from the public performance of your recordings and the business of music in general. Brought to you by IFR, the International Association for Artists and Rights Holders. I'm Andrew, a royalty consultant helping artists to collect on their value.
Hi, I'm Gina Deacon. I work for Absolute Rights Management and I work with record labels and artists to ensure we claim the royalty income due to them.
I'm Stacey Haber and I'm from Inside Baseball Music Publishing. Hi, and welcome back to Money in the Air, the IFR podcast where we explain everything and answer your questions about neighboring rights. I have with me today Gina Deacon, Andrew Ulla,
Hi.
and our guest today is the fabulous Jocelyn Brown. Jocelyn's here for the second part in The Musician Asks. I know that you have questions about neighboring rights because we've been discussing it for some time now, having just done a big deal for you with a representative.
Yeah.
But I know there are still some things that you don't fully understand because I haven't explained them properly. So now is my chance. Ask us anything.
Well, I'd like to know, do I get neighboring rights when my music is on TV? Because the people that come up with commercials and come up with different jingles, I'll find myself there. And not only that, they'll use the song. So do I get that?
So you will get it in most of the world, but you won't get it from the US.
And why is that?
Because the United States does not recognize royalties for terrestrial broadcast because the radio lobby was too strong when the statutes were enacted way back when we were babies. But in the rest of the world, terrestrial television, radio, and broadcast does pay royalties. So it's a good thing you're here in England.
Thank you, God. Thank you. I'm quite sure quite a few people are jumping up and down and being excited about understanding where this is coming from because they probably didn't understand it. It's something that, artists like myself or singers don't get a chance to get involved in it like this and understand all the particulars.
And that's why we exist, to educate and to help so that everyone understands it and collects as much money as possible.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, my second question is, do I get the same money from PPL that I get from BMI?
No. So you're with BMI for your songwriting. That's who gives you your public performance royalty as a songwriter. If you were still in the US, you would get it from Sound Exchange, but because you're in the UK, you get it from PPL. So the BMI equivalent in the UK is PRS. But no, it's not the same royalty. It's not the same amount of money. You don't get it under the same statute or same set of laws. You will get a royalty for the public performance of playing the record in public, but there are some things where you'll get a royalty as a songwriter, like streaming. You won't get a royalty from PPL for the recording, but you are getting streaming royalties from PRS. So it's not quite equivalent yet.
Oh, wow. If I'm in America, then I get American money. But if I'm over here, it would be an entirely different kind of a situation.
I happen to know that you're registered directly in the U.S. Anything that the U.S. pays, you will get paid for.
I see.
And you'll get paid from around the world.
I'm guessing that Jocelyn is going to have direct accounts with each international society, Brazil, Italy and France and the Netherlands and so on. So they will be collected independently. So it won't just be PPL reporting the income. The income streams will be, the representative will set up accounts directly with each international society.
Yes, that's what we did.
Okay.
Naomi has registered you separately in different countries to maximize the income and lessen the number of commissions that are paid.
That's fantastic. Yes, that's beautiful. Oh, come on. This is like having butterflies in your stomach because you don't hear this or understand this. Artists have a problem in getting business done, and music is business. And sometimes we don't want to accept that, but the truth is the truth. And hearing this allows you to understand you can get information. You can find out, and you can live, and you can survive, because a lot of them are giving up and not surviving because of this. And look, it's a simple conversation. You just got to have the right people to deal with, and thank you, Jesus, that y'all are there. People can listen, and it's very important. It's very important. So if I own my own recordings, can I also be recorded company? Can I also be the recording company for neighboring rights?
Yes. So you can double the royalties if you own the recording. You'll get paid not only as the performer, but they call the record label the rights holder. So the record company is called the rights holder in some countries, producer in others. You have to do double registrations, so you'll get double what you used to now that you have your recordings back. So there are many companies that performers and people who own their own recordings can sign with to get the help that you're getting, or they can do it themselves.
Okay, and doing it themselves shelves mean what?
It's perfectly feasible that you can do it yourself, although with the sheer volume of repertoire that you have, Jocelyn, I wouldn't recommend it. The amount of work that is involved, you're going to have somebody who is incredibly admin based rather than creative based, because it would take a lot of work. And you also need to know how to work the systems as well, because that's what representatives do. They understand all the issues that can come up with sourcing the recordings that you've worked on. You know, you might have done one version initially of a recording, but there have been several different mixes since. There have been remasters, samples. There could be so many different additions to that one initial recording that you did that you just don't know where to look, whereas a representative will know how to source that information and seek it out. And then, as I said before, it's not just a case of creating one account. You can be mandated with your local collection society, which is PPL over here, for the world, or our advice is that if you've got a repertoire such as yours, is that, you know, you create accounts individually with each society, and that takes time as well. So yes, an artist can do it themselves, but when you get to a certain level, I strongly advise that you speak to a representative.
And doing it yourself means going to the website and putting in all the music, all the record numbers, all the timings, all the songwriters, having all that information and putting it in by hand yourself.
Wow.
But I found it's really helpful when musicians, when artists directly have an interest in helping us out, because it makes the process so much easier. The artist knows exactly what they performed on, what the splits were, the timing. There's just a wealth of information that is very useful for the representatives to get it accurate when we register it at the societies.
Suppose that the artist can't give you all the information that you need, but maybe a portion of it.
The representatives are very good at going and doing that research. So when you and I started with an Excel spreadsheet with the names of the songs, and then we went and did the research and called people we knew and looked up online to fill in the rest of the information. It took a whole bunch of us to get all the info. You made some calls, I made some calls, I searched the ASCAP repertoire and then the PRS repertoire. It's hard. It's a lot of administrative work, and it took, 5 of us to get it done?
Wow. Well, right on. Folks need to hear and understand. You got to find an anchor to hold you down, and I respect that. I've got a great one. As we began to grow together, I began to find a wonderful asset in her, and she showed me how she wanted to help me go further with my career, and I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, especially you.
Right back at you, babe. Oh, it's been a pleasure. And it will be. It will continue to be. Thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. My pleasure. And thank you so much for all the wonderful answers.
Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you, Gina. Thank you, Andrew. And a very big special thank you to Jocelyn Brown. I adore you, and I'm so glad you were here, because you have brought out information that people would not have otherwise received. Anybody who wants to become a member of IFR and ask questions like Jocelyn did, please go to www.ifar.co.uk and become a member.